What's up guys, Matt here, back with another episode of the Spotlight on Mario Kart Tour. This is the show where I love to break down the coverage, the buffs, what's winning at every tour in Mario Kart Tour, as well as what are the new items like, how are they showing up, and what do we need to be aware of in the game this tour. So I'm really excited to bring this to you. Firstly, just an apology, I was hoping to bring a live stream to you this tour, however, just with the timing it really didn't work out. So stay tuned for that next tour. I really hope that can happen, so make sure to hit like and subscribe. I'll be aiming for sort of the first weekend, maybe like it would be something like a Saturday morning for me, would be something like a Friday night for most people, either Europe or Friday afternoon America, that kind of thing. So stay tuned for that, guys. Hit like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and break down everything coming this tour. And first, as we love to do, we love to take a look at what's coming when it comes to those buffs. And a huge shout out to Flo, who puts this together as part of his ticket time analysis. We love to see it every tour. So Flo's winners and losers list for the Mii Tour. This is really the buff wins and losses. At the end of the day, if we have a loss for an item that a lot of us are invested into, then that's a loss for the community, right? So we're all hoping that the items we invest into turn out well. So let's take a quick look and see what his analysis kind of broken down this tour. So firstly, has to be mentioned right up front, gold Mii suit, big winner this tour, getting a double ranked appearance, another retro buff. It's the best driver in the game, and Nintendo clearly wants it to be this way. It's still something that you have to go and try to unlock by getting to tier 80. So shout out to the gold Mii racing suit. I know I'm happy having that level 8 and quad capped on my account, and I really wish I had it on my free to play account. Next up, we've got the Larry Mii racing suit. So it just came out last tour. Obviously, Boomerang being basically the most powerful skill in the game apart from Coinbox, and it got two strong buffs on recent tracks. So Cooper Cape T overlaps with Gold Mii racing suit, but Boomerang could, in theory, be a better skill there. It gives you options if that course is not the best for Coinboxing. So that's really cool, and it's already on its way to the top 10, which is insane to think about when it comes to the fact that that's only just come out last tour. That's just crazy, and it will probably reach it in the next two tours. That's just insane. It's almost a must invest, though I know for me, I'm kind of holding out, just wondering, I'd love to spend my tickets on a Coinbox Mii instead, but Question Block Mii is kind of looking at me and I'm thinking it's not necessarily a great option. So I might have to go with this Larry Mii racing suit in the end, which is, it's great long-term value at the end of the day with Boomerang and a Mii suit with those extra base points. Then looking at some of the losses in terms of the buffs, we've got Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer, obviously Lucky 7 non-Mii skill. He got double ranked appearance, but the overlaps are definitely worrying. So yeah, it's really quite concerning. I mean, for me, it's an example where I've taken it to level 6 and double capped. I've enjoyed it, but maybe it's already peaked, which is a bit concerning. But maybe that's all I was ever going to get from the Light Blue Shy Guy. Not being a Mii suit really does hold it back. Then we've got Luigi Knight, not really interesting buffs in the last couple tour, and it's been taken over by Toad Astronaut, and now of course the Mii Boomerang driver as well in Larry Mii racing suit. Cool, moving on to the karts, we've got Blazing Eagle. Has to be mentioned, this thing is just absolutely insane, and you're already getting spoilers for the top 10 in ticket time, which we'll cover shortly. But yeah, here it is again, two buffs on new retro tracks, plus an old one. It's just too strong to ignore. Yeah, we really can't imagine a different number one in at least the next 10 tours. That's just insane, guys, how far ahead it is that it can't even be reached. The gap is enormous, and it's 19% now. That's the same as between number 2 and number 10. That's just bananas. Then we've got the Rainbow Streetle, 3 buffs on brand new courses, already collects a lot of its tracks and overcomes its small size disadvantage and still reaches the top 10. So these Streetles, something about them Nintendo like to buff. Then we've got the loser list. So we've got the Blooper Shuttle, unfortunately a bit of a loss here, only one single buff on Piranha Plant Cove 3T. That's a bit disappointing, and of course, the algorithm here is not really weighting these Nitro courses quite as high as it would a retro course. And then lastly, a loss here is the Camo Tanuki cart. It got Piranha Plant Cove 3, also needs better buffs in future tours to keep up. Then moving on to the gliders, we've got 8-Bit Goomba, good set of buffs. Now I know a lot of people, including myself, are really waiting for this thing to do something and really be good for their particular account. I think right now the challenge with this one is it's got plenty of overlaps, and we'll take a look at the 8-Bit Goomba as we go through to see where that's at. It's a lot of on a lot of people's minds, so it'll be a good one for us to dive into. But it is getting some good buffs. It is climbing the rankings, and it is actually up already quite high. But again, those overlaps might have limited the ability to get into this glider in terms of starting to invest so far. Then we've got the Secret Scroll, 2 nice buffs on new tracks, enough to jump back into the top 10, which is really cool to see. This one's really been overshadowed by the Piranha Plant Balloon and the 8-Bit 1-Up Mushroom, which came out in that same tour, the PD Piranha Tour, back, it was a long time ago now. Then we've got the 8-Bit 1-Up Mushroom, unfortunately on the loser list. So of course, it's disappointing to see no buffs on Mushroom Bridge, especially given it is mushroom themed. The 8-Bit Super Mushroom getting the edge there with that buff, which is interesting to see. It seems to be having a bit of a comeback there. Then we've got the Tropical Balloons, lacking good buffs since quite some time. Will be interesting to see if it can recover. So there, guys, is our wins and losses list. I do agree with pretty much the list there. There's a couple more that could be mentioned. Ones like Charging Chuck Gold looking pretty strong with some good buffs there, as well as some others. Some falling off as well. But let's go now and take a look at the new items that are coming out this tour. Break them all down and have a look, and really you'll be thinking about what Miis should I be buying. Should I be leveling up Larry? Should I be leveling up Morton? So let's go ahead now and take a look. And first we're going to take a look at the Morton Mii Racing suit. And here it is in all its glory. We've got 6 retro courses, 1 nitro course to start. It's number 67 in the ticket time rankings for a starting part, which is totally respectable there. And then it starts out with Shroom Ridge T, Mushroom Bridge T, SNES Donut Plains 1T, GameCube Mushroom Bridge, Donut Plains 1R, and then Cooper Cape RT there. And in terms of the level 8 unlock, that is that Mushroom Bridge T course. Now there is a bit of overlap in terms of coin box, as you can see there, and when we look at the number of overlaps, there are a couple, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's you're not expecting to see much when it's a brand new item and it's got so few courses, but certainly it's not necessarily a must invest to start. There are 2 overlaps there with Poochie. There's 2 with the Yellow Mii Racing suit, as well as Toad Astronaut 2. So definitely some plus skill overlap there already. But as we, the thing is, we do not know how the long-term value will be for this item. So in general, I'm recommending holding off on investing unless you're going in for like a top 100 run or something this tour and you really need to invest, or if you just love Giant Banana and want to take a gamble. I think it could be a really great option. I'm very tempted, but I'm trying to be more selective and intentional in my choices, so that I don't end up having to purchase any of those premium challenges or premium challenges plus cards. So because that's my strategy now, I'm holding off a little bit and probably won't invest. But pretty nice start, and I know Yellow Mii is one that I could start investing into even this tour, but perhaps a Morton Mii, if it's going to overlap a lot with the yellow, could be a good kind of investment if you didn't invest in the Yellow Mii. I'd hope that because it's kind of a more character based one, then maybe Nintendo will buff it more, but the thing is, guys, we just don't know, and investing is gonna be a gamble either way. So there's the Morton Mii Racing suit. Shout out to Edido and everyone in the the Banana Republic who are loving these items. It's really cool to see people really get on board and have fun with it. So if you're investing, let me know in the comments down below. And now let's move on to the Larry Mii Racing suit. So obviously this one's not new, but let's just quickly talk about it because it's kind of, people are kind of considering these two and playing them off against each other. So it obviously came out not this tour, but last tour, and now it has 10 retro courses. So this tour, it got Cooper Cape T, it got Shroom Ridge RT, it got Mushroom Gorge RT as well. So 3 decent solid buffs there. And then looking at the overlaps, it got 3 with Gold Mii Racing suit. It's probably the most concerning, but I mean 7 non-overlaps is pretty strong, not to overlap with Gold Mii there. It's got some overlap, 2 with Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer, 2 with Kamek, 2 with Meowser, 2 with PD Piranha Gold, 2 with Luigi Knight and PD Piranha. So a bit of kind of your plus skill overlap there, but really not too concerning. I think that a lot of people are going to be investing in Larry Mii this tour if they didn't already last tour. So again, let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on Larry Mii? And of course, check your ticket time rankings. The link's in the description down below to see if the Larry Mii fits well with your inventory. I would guess that it probably will, unless, like I say, you've already invested in some of these items on the screen right now with this overlap list. Okay, cool. So slight segue, and let's now take a look at the Lemmy Mii racing suit. So Lemmy, obviously with the bubble skill, pretty funny to be getting another bubble based Mii, pretty funny, but yeah, it looks cool, and starts out with an okay value there. It's got 105th place in the ticket type rankings, 5 courses there with a nitro course as well. It's okay, it's not a great start, but I mean, when you've only got 6 courses, that's what it is what it is. Looking at its courses that it got Shroom Ridge R, SNES Ghost Valley 2R, Mushroom Gorge RT, Mushroom Bridge RT, and then Ghost Valley 2T. So you can see the Ghost Valley kind of buffs there, not super interesting, I would say, in that regard. And of course you got Piranha Plant Cove 3R there as well as that Nitro course. So Lemmy Mii, it from my perspective isn't that interesting. Of course that Mushroom Gorge RT is a nice one with only no coin box there. It's got your Boomerang and Lucky 7 though, so might not be quite so interesting. I know I'll be using Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer there, and I've also got the option of investing into Toad Astronaut as well. So you got some options. Really this is going to come a little bit further down the priority list when you've got these Morton and Larry. These are plus skill options to really look at first, but certainly being a Mii, you might be looking at this over some of these other ones that it overlaps with, like Luigi Chef, or perhaps even, Goomba Mii racing suit being a little bit older. So really nothing to talk about in terms of overlaps right now, being, as mentioned, a brand new item with such little coverage right now. So that's the Lemmy Mii. That's it for the drivers. Now let's move on to the new karts, and we've got a lot of color variants of these comets. So let's take a look at those. Yeah, it's funny, up until now we really only had the comet tail. Now we've got a red, pink, green and gold. Let's start with the gold one there, and it's typically these gold karts we don't expect too much, so it only starts out at 174 in the ticket time rankings with 7 retro courses and 2 nitros. And it got Shroom Ridge RT, Choco Island 2 RT, Ghost Valley 2T, Maple Treeway RT, Choco Island 2R, Ghost Valley 2 and Maple Treeway R. And you can kind of see the problem there, a lot of older courses there with only that Shroom Ridge RT Level 8 unlock being of the most interest there with the retros. It did get Piranha Plant Cove 3 and 3 RT, which is nice to see. However, being nitro courses, you just don't know how much they're going to come back. I mean, in the tour reaction where Flo and I reacted to the tour, I'm talking about, I don't know if you picked up on this if you watched the video, but I'm talking about the Piranha Plant Cove coming back. But what I didn't realize at that point, that these older variants of Piranha Plant Cove 1 and 2, they didn't come back, which is super frustrating, but also kind of not surprising, and it shows why they could include so many different courses while not including all of the variants. So that's the gold comet. Let's now move on and check out some of these other colored variants of the comet as well. The one that's in ranked this week, the red comet, is an okay sort of starting value there. So it starts out 106 in the ticket time rankings there with 10 retro courses, so none of the Piranha Plant Coves there. It got Shroom Ridge, Mushroom Bridge R, Choco Island 2T, Donut Plains 1R, Cooper Cape RT, Shroom Ridge RT, Choco Island 2 RT, Donut Plains 1, Cooper Cape, and Mushroom Gorge RT, which is that level 8 unlock. So this is okay starting value. Looking at the overlaps there, 5 with the Mark 8R, 4 with the Brown Off-Roader, nothing too concerning really. It's got 2 with the Blooper Shuttle, so if you've invested in that, you might not need it. 2 with the Jukebox Bay, like a lot of these overlaps are with kind of average kind of carts, so it's okay. It's not crazy value, but I think you did get like at least 4 new courses without even unlocking that level 8 to level 8. So it could be a good candidate to take it to level 4 with a single cap, or level 6 with a double cap if you need it in ranked this week, or this tour I should say. So that's that one there. Let's take a look now at the Green Comet. This is the ranked reward, so you'll be thinking, do I invest to try to win this one as well as the glider? And we'll take a look at the colored gliders soon. This one starts out with a pretty poor value, which is kind of funny with these ranked rewards. Bit of a slap in the face really, but 170 in the ticket time rankings, 8 retro courses and 1 nitro, and it got Luigi's Mansion R and T, Donut Plains 1 RT, Ghost Valley 2 RT, Luigi's Mansion RT, Mushroom Bridge T, Donut Plains 1T, Ghost Valley 2T, and Piranha Plant Cove 3 RT. So unfortunately this one's really dead on arrival, and I would definitely hazard caution and recommend you do the same when it comes to this item, because it's just not looking great, guys. I mean, the overlap's really not too bad. I don't see any really meta carts within some of the overlap. You've got Red Vampire 3 Flyer there. Maybe you invested in that newer cart there with 3 overlaps. But yeah, like I mean, 2 with the Red Off-Roader further down the list, that's of interest, but really the concern here is the value. These courses are just no good, so yeah, take a look at that. I don't recommend this cart, but so don't sell your soul to win ranked this week is probably my recommendation. All right, let's move on from the Green Comet's a bit of a down buzz, so let's now check out the Pink Comet. So many comments. And this one is the best of the bunch, starting out at number 61 in the ticket time rankings, 9 retro courses, 1 nitro, and then it got Shroom Ridge, Cookie Land, great to see that battle course in there as we mentioned in the tour reaction, Mushroom Bridge T, Donut Plains 1R, Maple Treeway RT, Shroom Ridge T, Mushroom Bridge, Choco Island 2, and Donut Plains 1T. The nitro course being Piranha Plant Cove 3R. So I think from a starting out perspective there's a good mix. You got 1 nitro course, you got a bunch of retros, you got a battle course, you got some new ones in Shroom Ridge and Shroom Ridge T, Mushroom Bridge. These are great. They're really, really cool to see those. Bearing in mind Mushroom Bridge is a level 8 unlock, and I don't know, so many people will be taking this one to level 8 straight away. And so yeah, then it's got this mix of older courses, which it's worth looking at your inventory to see if you take it to level 6 with a double cap, is it going to upgrade a course that you don't have something past level 4 on or something like that. It could be of interest, but outside of that, it's got limited value. So wait and see approach makes the most sense from my perspective. And I would recommend that with most of the carts, unless, as I mentioned, you're going for like a top 100 run and you do need these courses to be covered. Overlaps wise, it's got 3 with the Mac 8R, it's got 2 with the Jumbo Jetta, 2 with the Rainbow Streetle there. Looking further down the list, Swift Talon, Red Comet there is on the list, 2 with Combo Cruiser, but nothing too crazy. For 10 courses, 2 overlaps is not really too much of interest, so I think this is got a nice niche of coverage. Perhaps if you're invested into some other pink carts, it's not going to make sense long term because they'll get similar buffs. But yeah, Pink Comet could be interesting. I think it's a nice cart to drive in terms of the hitbox and in terms of the way it handles. Alright, so the Mark 8R, it's got a flame on it, it looks pretty cool. It's 108 in the ticket type rankings, it's got 10 courses to start with, all retros with no nitros. It starts out with Shroom Ridge, Mushroom Bridge R, Donut Plains 1, Cooper Cape RT, Maple Treeway RT, Shroom Ridge T, Mushroom Bridge RT, Cooper Cape T, and Maple Treeway T. So pretty nice start with quite a lot of the newer courses there. Couple ranked appearances, which is very nice to see. One in ranked week 1 with Mushroom Bridge R, one in ranked week 2 with Cooper Cape RT. I think it's a pretty good start. Unfortunately, it's not as large a hitbox. If this was the coverage for maybe, say, the pink speeder, or sorry, the pink comet tail or something like that, it could be of more interest. It does have 5 overlaps with the red comet, so you're probably not going to be looking at both of those. And interestingly, you know, sometimes items that have come out as commemorative have been much stronger, and other times not so much. So the red comet might be a better bet in terms of the hitbox than this Mark 8R. So it might be better to save your money and actually just spend 70 rubies on that one. 3 overlaps with the Flowery Badwagon, Pink Comet, Jukebox Buggy, Moo Moo Off-Roader, Purple Dozer, Prop Car, and Streetle. So it's alright. I'm going to be skipping this one and not going for it at all, but I think it will definitely get some value in the future. I don't know if it will be that great held back by that smaller hitbox. Alright, let's move on with the gliders, and let's go and take a look at the gold checkered glider. So we've got a bunch of, again, color swap gliders this tour. So let's start out with this gold checkered glider. 132 on the ticket time rankings with 7 retro courses and 2 nitros. It starts out with Mushroom Bridge R, Choco Island 2T, Donut Plains 1 RT, Ghost Valley 2T, Choco Island 2 RT, Donut Plains 1 and Ghost Valley 2R, with the nitro courses being Piranha Plant Cove 3R and 3RT. So nice to see those. However, yeah, pretty concerning value there, with the only real interesting course being Mushroom Bridge R, which is then a bit of a slap in the face with a level 8 unlock. So I think it's pretty safe to basically say that this one is kind of dead on arrival. Probably not very interested in leveling it up or anything like that. So I would say hold your tickets and stay away from this one for now at least. Alright, so we've got a bunch of other checkered gliders. Let's go ahead and check out the red checkered glider and compare the carts. Maybe the carts are slightly similar in the way that they've been buffed to the gliders. So let's find out. So looking at its starting place, it's a number 105 on the ticket time rankings, 9 retro courses and 1 nitro. It got Shroom Ridge R, it got Mushroom Bridge R, it got Choco Island 2R, Donut Plains 1R, Mushroom Gorge T, Shroom Ridge RT, Mushroom Bridge T, Choco Island 2 RT, and then Donut Plains 1 RT, as well as Piranha Plant Cove 3 RT. So this one's an okay starting value. I think you know, the double ranked appearance is nice, but then you realize that Mushroom Bridge T is that level 8 unlock, so probably not quite so interesting. But certainly that ranked week 1 course is pretty hard to cover, so I did pick this up on my free-to-play account, just leaving it at level 1 just to have a glider. Might be, again, it will be a wait and see approach to see if it ends up good, but yeah, not a bad start in terms of the coverage it got. Looking at the overlaps, there are 3 with the 8-bit Goomba, the Bright Ribbon, Gold Checkered Glider, Chocolate Donut, Glitter Glider, and Strawberry Crepe. Also 2 with the 8-bit 1-up Mushroom is worth mentioning, and the Mario Hat Balloon. So a couple there, you know, that you might need to be aware of. But I think it's a pretty okay start for this particular glider. Let's move on to the next one, and we've got the, let's check out the green one next. All right, so this one starts out at number 122 in the ticket time rankings. Again, showing that these ranked rewards tend to be worth less than just exchanging your rubies for one of these items. So green checkered glide, it's got that green shell skill, it's got 8 retro courses and 2 nitros, and it starts out with Luigi's Mansion RT, Choco Island 2R, Ghost Valley 2, Luigi's Mansion R, Shroom Ridge T, Choco Island 2T, and Ghost Valley 2T. Then it's also got Piranha Plant Cove 3RT and Piranha Plant Cove 3T. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Those Luigi Mansions are a bit concerning. Obviously it's trying to be themed because it's green, but you know, with that, yeah, it's only got really that Shroom Ridge T, which is an interesting course, but that's level 8 unlock, and then those 2 nitro courses. So I would, You know, again, don't sell your soul to win ranked. I would say try to pick this one up, but be hesitant to invest into it for at least a good while. Being a green shell glider, sometimes these tend to get some pretty nice buffs, so you never know, but certainly you can't gamble on a glider like this at this point. Let's check out the pink checkered glider now, and we hope this one is doing slightly better at least than the green. So it does start out at number 99 in the ticket time rankings, 9 retro courses and 1 nitro. There it's got Shroom Bridge, Mushroom Bridge T, Cooper Cape T, Maple Treeway RT, Mushroom Gorge T, Mushroom Bridge, Cooper Cape R, Maple Treeway R, Mushroom Gorge, Piranha Plant Cove 3 RT. So it's an okay value, and it does have a double week 2 ranked appearance, and the good news there is that it is not locked behind level 8. You know, unlock there, the level 8 unlock is Mushroom Bridge, which is an ACR but not ranked. That's cool to see. And then overlap wise, it has Sakura Origami Glider, 4 overlaps there, and then it's got 3 with a bunch, including Cream Toe Beam Balloons, Bright Ribbon, Flying Flappers, Golden Wings, Autumn Leaves, Gold Origami Glider, and the Luigi's Moustache. So I think this one's quite promising. Not a heck of a lot of overlap with meta gliders, especially if you didn't invest in the Sakura Origami Glider. It's got a Mushroom skill, which tends to be quite good. It doesn't interfere too much with things like Coinbox. Though you can get, you know, mushrooms in quite a few different positions in the pack when you hit the item box. But I think this, again, the pink one, they seem to be possibly the best items in terms of that starting value. So it might be worth picking that up in the Spotlight shop week 2. Alright guys, now let's take a quick look at some of the biggest movers, the items that gained the most or jumped the most in the ticket time rankings. So you can see I'm in the driver ticket time rankings here, and you can see this column change, which I've just sorted by, and yeah, you can see that you know, the items that have really shifted the most are these Mii racing suits, which came out last tour, the Larry, Iggy, and Ludwig Mii racing suits, but also this blue Mii racing suit jumping up 31 positions to number 86. Not really too much to write home about. Certainly the most interesting is the Larry Mii racing suit, which we did check out before. But yeah, you can see where Iggy and Ludwig are kind of stacking up there. We'll have to keep a watch on them. I'm not going to dive too much into their coverage this tour because it's really not that interesting that you should be thinking about it. I think take a look at your ticket time rankings and look at where Larry Mii racing suit is sitting and whether you need him in ranked to see if now's the time to go in on him. I think that's my key advice around the drivers. So let's now then move on to the carts and the biggest movers, the biggest items that are making a jump in the ticket time rankings. So firstly we have the Cream Classic and the Black Jingle Bell jumping both 65 places. The Cream Classic to number 107, which is not that interesting quite yet, but obviously getting that decent ranked appearance there is of interest. And then you've got the the Black Jingle Bell, pretty funny cart, but jumping up to number 51 with its buffs this tour as well. You know, I'm not going to dive again into their coverage because I don't really recommend investing into these carts that are still so far outside the top, even outside of the top 50 still. But they're ones to keep an eye on. So keep an eye on those ones. Looking at the Jumbo Jetta, that's jumped up to number 65. So I heard a couple people hyping this up, but I think it's not quite really at the point yet where I would recommend really seriously investing. We've also got the Bronze Cucumber, which jumped up 50 places, and I noticed it this tour showing up on a couple courses, giving me coverage at level 1. But again, number 117 in the ticket time rankings, it just doesn't represent enough value yet to really seriously consider investing from my perspective. We've other ones in there too. We've got Silver Flower Cart jumping 41 places to 134. We've got Taiko Drum Dasher jumping 32 places to number 41. Bright Girl jumping 30 places to number 87. So all interesting, but probably not interesting enough to actually consider investing there. if we actually then flip this a little bit, there could be some that are slightly more interesting. So for example, maybe the most interesting would be the Sakura Sports Coupe. It jumped 27 places to number 17. That could be one really interesting to watch with that kind of move. Take a look at its coverage. If it's showing up in your top 10, really take a look at the courses that it does cover. I do think it's got a bit of overlap, but you know, it's slightly wider hitbox for a small kart, so it could be really interesting. Probably more interesting though are some of the ones up into our top 10, such as this Rainbow Streetle, which we'll go take a look at in a moment when we take a look at the top 10. But looking at the gliders, let's look at the same thing. Which ones are getting the most jumps or the shifts in the rankings? So we've got the Roy Oil Paper in its second tour, jumping 34 places up to number 77. We've got the Golden Glider, that not to be confused with the Golden Wings or the Gold Glider. This is the Golden Glider, which is the one that looks like a glider, like a, you know, an aeroplane glider. Pretty strange name, but anyway, and it's not also kind of not golden looking really either, but it's only number 89, so probably not that interesting right now. Then we've got, looking further down the list, you know, a few jumps here, quite a few items that have kind of jumped up, but again, not that interesting being so far out of the top 10. So when again we do the same thing here, we'll take a look at the rankings, see what ones have really made a jump into that kind of top, or getting close to that top 10. You know, we've got a few interesting moves here, like Gold Cloud Balloons, Silver Luigi's Moustache, as well as Wonderful Garnet jumping up 3 places to number 15. That's quite interesting, and the Calico Toe Beans jumping into number 14 place. But let's not muck around too much more. Let's now dive into the Ticket Time top 10 and really see what the items are that are worth thinking about investing. Now, of course, as always, a plug for Ticket Time, and if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to check out the link, the video linked up here. I'll put a link, and I'll put a link in the description down below of how Ticket Time works, how to use it to make investment decisions on your account. Guys, this video is to give you an overview of the new items and really to look at what's moving in the rankings, but to get a real good sense of what items are a good fit for your account, you need to run your own Ticket Time rankings to understand that. So with that said, let's take a look at the top 10, let's see what's really interesting, and then compare that with your own rankings to make your own decisions. So here we go. Let's take a look at the top 10 for the drivers, and in number 10th place we've got Luigi Knight down 2 places. He has 38 courses there, which includes nitros, and yeah, he's pretty good. I never invested in him, but you know, Boomerang tends to get quite a lot of coverage, and of course with Mii's, you can see that his value is going to continue to drop down, so generally speaking he's not really one to start thinking about investing in right now unless you really need him for ranked and he's great for your account long term and you've got some tickets to spend. In number 9th place, we've got the Yellow Mii Racing Suit, and I do want to actually take a look at the Yellow Mii Racing Suit's coverage, because if you're like me, you're probably considering, do I invest in Larry, do I invest in Morton, or do I invest in the Yellow Mii Racing Suit? And Yellow Mii's finally gotten to the point where it's actually of interesting value. So let's jump across here, and by the way, I just want to give a massive shout out to Larry98 for creating this awesome spreadsheet. This is the MarioKartTour data sheet that he creates, and we're using the coverage and buff potential section of a sheet, but there's so much more to this sheet. This is my favorite thing because it gives an overview of everything that you need to see, and I love the data aspect, but hey, for you might want to see something different, and there's heaps and heaps of features in this sheet, so make sure to check it out. Massive shout out to you, Larry, and yeah, again, that will be linked in the description down below. You can access it through our Discord server. Alright, so Yellow Mii Racing Suit has 17 retro courses, it's got 14 nitro courses, and it's number 9 in the Ticket Time rankings, as we just mentioned. It got Mushroom Bridge, which is a ACR course, not a ranked course. And I think really that's the issue that I've found with Yellow Mii, is when it's been in ranked, I've already had coverage somewhere else, or it hasn't represented enough value to kind of make the jump or make the move. And then when it's finally getting to the point where it is good for your account, it's getting a non-ranked buff, which you need for coverage, but you don't need for ranked. So I think I'm still gonna wait on this, or probably look at the Morton or the Larry Mii suit instead, because this just isn't interesting enough when it's not in ranked. And in general, I would advise you to not invest into items unless they're in ranked and you can really get the value from them directly this tour. Its overlaps, it does have 4 with the Cat Mario, Toad Astronaut, and then 3 with a bunch, which do include Daisy Tie Dress, Yellow Pit Crew Toad, Mario Tuxedo's got 2 there, Yoshi Gold Egg's got 2. Looking for some other plus skills on the list, we've got Charging Chuck 2 there, Meowser 2 there, Drybones Gold, Charging Chuck Gold. So does have a lot of overlaps, and as you can see, if you look over in this section here, that's a lot of plus skill overlap to have. Which is not too surprising. I think that the bonus for this is there's not really any overlap or much overlap with Coin Box or Boomerang Mii racing suits. I think that's a real bonus for the yellow Mii. It's kind of carved out its own niche in that respect, though it is replacing, and this is the problem for me, a lot of my normal characters. I've got Charging Chuck Gold, level 8 and quad capped, so I don't really want to be using upgrading the yellow Mii racing suit when it's not necessarily going to benefit me too much in scoring. And I love Coin Box too, let's be honest, Coin Box is a lot of fun, right? So that's the yellow Mii racing suit. Let's jump back over to the top 10 now. We've got in number 8th place Toad Astronaut, who jumped up 1 place to number 8. He has 36 courses that he covers. Really nice, pretty solid value with still quite a lot of courses to see. We've got Daisy Tie Dress. She is in number 7th place, holding steady there, and she has 48 courses, which is just absolutely insane. Petey Piranha, again holding steady in number 6 with 44 courses. Santa Mii racing suit. This one's on number 5th place in 27 places. Quite sneaky. A lot of people haven't invested, and of course Lucky 7 being a Mii suit is a huge advantage, giving you all those extra base points. You get a run with 180 actions, and you get insane boost from having those Mii base points. So Santa Mii, quite interesting. Charging Chuck Gold, absolutely insane value. You can see the parallel there with Daisy Tie Dress, who came out almost a year ago now. Charging Chuck Gold, in his absolute prime, really red hot value and buffs, and he is in number 4th place with 46 courses. I highly recommend you take a serious look at him. He's even, beating a lot of Mii racing suits right now, which shows you how powerful his value is. Then we've got Question Mark Block Mii racing suit. This one here, number 3 at 3rd place, holding steady with 36 courses. Really interesting. I am keen to actually look at the Question Mark Block. I don't know about you, but I've been seriously considering this, seeing it in ranked this tour. So let's take a look while we're here at the Question Block Mii racing suit. There are a bit of overlaps with Gold Mii. I think that's probably one of the key concerns with Question Mark Block, and it does have a bit of overlap with other stuff. But 28 courses, 9 nitros there, and this tour it just got Piranha Plant Cove 3 RT. So the downside is that it's just that 1 nitro, but the plus is that it is in ranked. It is an exclusive coin box track there for the Mii suit, so that's really good to see. And it also does show up on the Mushroom Bridge R, which is in ranked week 1, but of course if you've got gold Mii suit, then you're not going to need Question Mark Block or vice versa. Now the overlaps here, we got 6 with Donkey Kong Jr., we've got 6 with Dr. Bowser, Mario Satellaview, Waluigi Bus Driver, then we got 5 with Drybones Gold, Petey Piranha, 4 with Reindeer and Mii Racing Suit. Looking further down, we've got Bowser Santa, Larry Wintertime, Yoshi Gold Egg, Daisy Tie Dress. You can see a lot of that overlap there, and there's a lot of other plus skills. 4 with Toad Astronaut from a Boomerang perspective. But you've got to remember, if you love Coin Box and you want to be high scoring, Question Mark Block is going to replace pretty much everything I just mentioned, with the only real concern being overlaps with things like maybe the Gold Mii or something like, I'm looking for Petey Mii, is he on here? We'll have to look pretty far down the list. Here we go. Petey Piranha Mii Racing Suit, 3 overlaps there. Gold Mii Racing Suit, 3 overlaps there. So, it's not too bad when you're talking about 37 courses, right? So I think Question Mark Block, if you need it for Piranha Plant Cove 3 RT, it could totally make sense. I know I'm super tempted, so let me know in the comments down below if you want me to invest I'll do what you tell me to do, chat. If you say that I need to do it, then yeah, goodbye tickets. Okay, so there's question mark block Mii racing suit. We've got PD Piranha Mii racing suit, holding steady at number 2, 31 courses, 0 change, massive scoring potential that he presents, right? Yeah, the boosted score is pretty insane. So PD Piranha Mii racing suit, very powerful driver, and of course our number 1 driver in the game, Gold Mii racing suit, sitting at number 1, 46 courses, just absolutely insane. Highly recommend you take a look at Gold Mii if you haven't already and you need it for this ranked week. Now's the time to do it, guys. You're not gonna regret that decision, because he's going to continue to get buffed, being a driver that's still quite exclusive in the game, really quite exclusive, as well as having 46 courses, as well as being in ranked. You can't ignore that. So if you're holding out on Gold Mii, now's the time. Go ahead and do it. You have my seal of approval. Alright guys, let's go take a look now at the top 10 karts in the game. So here we go. So number 10, we've got the Flaming Speeder, jumping up 3 places. It has 38 courses that it covers, which might be surprising. A lot of coverage there, and yeah, it's pretty good value. I don't know too much. You have to look at the overlaps and whether it's good for your account, but the Flaming Speeder is probably a bit of a sneaky one that's kind of crept up through the meta. So there we go, breaking into the top 10. We've got the Rainbow Streetle jumping up 6 places to number 9, first time in the top 10 as well. This one is looking pretty strong with 30 courses and still a lot of courses to see as well. Then we've got the Moo Moo Off-Roader, sadly dropping off. It had such a hot start, 35 courses. Now other karts are starting to really overtake it. Something like the Blazing Eagle, it was much stronger than the Blazing Eagle, 5 tours ago, 6 tours ago. Now it's really dropped off, and it's dropped down 2 places there, but still 35 courses, having a lot of great coverage where it's a large kart where there aren't really any other large karts. That's really good. And then also having some that hitbox combined with the courses that it does have, so that's really nice. Though unfortunately, without the ranked appearances and really getting shafted this tour from a buff perspective, it's not really time to invest into that this tour. We've got the Swift Talon that's up 1 place to number 7 with 40 courses. This one is very sneaky. A lot of people have kind of dismissed it. Obviously a lot of nitro value in there too, which is a bit concerning, but when it's got 40 courses and it's continuing to getting buffed, it's kind of like the slightly the younger brother of the Blazing Eagle, but still very strong and close neck and neck. The Blue Crawley is one that's not really peaked yet. It's in number 6, jumping down 1 place with 28 courses, really not getting great buffs this tour. This one really needs a kind of a second wave of awesomeness of buffs, and so I would say now is not really the time to invest unless you really need it or it's already great for your account. Does overlap a lot with other karts that you're probably already leveled up, in which case unless you're new to the game, it's probably not going to make too much sense for you. The Shielded Speedster dropping down 1 place with 38 courses there to number 5. Really strong kart, obviously, with 38 courses, but yeah, just not getting crazy good buffs this tour. We've got the Pink Speeder jumping up 5 places to number 4 with 38 courses. Very nice kart. It has some really good value. Let's actually go and take a look at what's happening with the Pink Speeder, because I think it's really an example of a strong one that many people haven't looked at. I know that it had a lot of overlaps with the Moo Moo Off-Roader quite early on. So perhaps you went with the Moo Moo over the Pink Speeder. Does have 6 overlaps with the Red Off-Roader and a 9 with the Pink Sneaker, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, number 4 in the ticket time rankings, 26 retros, 13 nitros. It got Mushroom Bridge RT and Mushroom Gorge RT this tour, so 2 really solid buffs, including that ranked week 1 coverage. That's really nice. And yeah, there are some overlaps there. So we've got 6 with the White Bruiser as well, 5 with the Camo Tanuki, Crimson Hot Rod, Gold Lunar Cruiser, Bright Girl, Blazing Eagle. Yeah, so there's a lot of overlaps there. 4 with the Moo Off-Roader, perhaps not that notable anymore, right? When it started, 4 overlaps was concerning, but really those 2 have got completely different coverage now, and really it doesn't matter too much. So it could be one to look at investing into now if you do have it, or if you've already started to level it up. But you know, if you're invested in Red Off-Roader, it may not make sense. Alright, let's finish this off and round this up. So we've got the Streetle sitting at number 3, holding steady with 39 courses, still a very strong cart there. We've got the Red Off-Roader, again 39 courses. If it had gotten buffed well this tour, I probably would have taken it to level 8 because it's becoming extremely powerful with its coverage. Though, you know, it got great buffs this tour, but really not too interesting this tour. Then the Blazing Eagle, number 1 card in the game, 45 courses, absolutely insane. We'd have to take a look at this Blazing Eagle because it's one worth looking at. For me, I only took it to level 6 and double capped it so far. But it's starting to become so strong that it's almost one that you have to level up even further. So there's a reason this is the number 1 card in the game right now. It's got 26 retro courses, that is 20 nitro courses, 46 total. It got Maple Tree Way, it got Mushroom Bridge RT, and it got Mushroom Gorge RT ranked week 1, which a lot of people will be using this cart here. Looking at its overlaps, 5 with the Blooper Shuttle, Tuk Tuk Cart, the Holiday Speeder, Red Off-Roader, Gold Capsule Cart, Gold Lunar Cruiser, Pink Speeder. Looking further down the list, you'll also see maybe some other ones in here. 3 with the Cact B, there's a meta cart. We've got Shielded Speedster 4 there, that obviously does matter. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's not too concerning, right? I think it's gotten to the point where early on, you know, that would have mattered. I mean, 5 with the Red Off-Road is a little concerning, definitely, but really not the end of the world, you know. Might not make sense to invest in the Red Off-Road at this point if you've already got Blazing Eagle leveled up. So that's it for the carts, guys. Let's now go and take a look at the top 10 gliders in the game. Here we go. So in number 10th place, we've got the chocolate pretzel. Didn't see that one coming. So it's up 3 places, and it's got 37 improved courses. I feel like this one gets a bad rap because people think of it like the chocolate donut, but guys, this is quite a new glider still, so it might be kind of in its prime right now. It looks like it might cap out around that 40-ish, 40-ish courses to cover, so really not too bad. It might be nice for your account. Definitely check it out where it sits in your rankings. Then we've got the Secret Scroll, as mentioned, jumping 10 places with 38 courses this tour. Number 9 on our list. Let's go take a look. I think this one's quite interesting to take a look at. Here we go, Secret Scroll. I think again it got overshadowed by, you know, 8-bit 1-up Mushroom. Okay, so number 9 in the Ticket Time rankings, 25 retro courses, 14 nitros. It got Mushroom Bridge RT and Mushroom Gorge RT. So 2 nice new RTs, including a ranked week appearance. Very, very nice to see. That is great value for this glider. Looking at its overlaps, it got 8 with the Fire Manta glider, 6 with the 8-bit 1-up Mushroom, 6 with the Piranha Plant balloons, 5 with the Candlelight Flight, 5 with the Cat Parafoil, Icy Mario's Moustache, Chocolate Pretzel, Pink Gold Meteors, Silver Luigi's Moustache, Mario's Moustache, and Wonderful Wings, and the Glittering Parasol. So I think the problem for this glider is a lot of those are pretty meta. Even ones like Cat Parafoil and Icy Mario's Moustache are kind of sub-meta to the point that a lot have invested in them as well. So yeah, not the cutting edge, you know, coverage that something like the 8-bit 1-up Mushroom presents. So you're probably not invested, but if you are, kudos to you, well done to you, that's great, and I'm sure you'll be enjoying it, especially with that ranked week 1 buff. Alright, jumping back across, then we've got the Fuzzy Kite in number 8th place. It's dropped down 3 places, so unfortunately kind of dropping off. It might come back. I think it's very likely it will, with only 33 courses. I think it's got heaps more potential, both for courses returning as well as Nintendo saying, hey, you know, this one we haven't buffed it enough, let's give it some more courses and let's drop off on, you know, all the buffs we're giving to, I don't know, the yellow hard hat balloon, which came out in the same tour, right? So yeah, so the fuzzy kite, there it is. Hopefully it bounces back. Then we've got the green cat Parafoil, slightly dropping off now that it's reached 41 courses, number 7th place, still a very powerful glider, but yeah, maybe it's seen better days. We've got the yellow hard hat balloon up 2 places to number 6 with 37 courses. You can see beating out or edging out that fuzzy kite right now. Very nice to see for those who invested. Then we've got the 8-bit 1-up mushroom, as we always mention, and it did get a ranked week appearance, but because of other gliders being quite powerful and also only getting really one buff that's useful, then it has dropped off a little bit, even though it has an insane 42 courses. Piranha Plant Balloons hanging steady, neck and neck as always with the 8-bit 1-up mushroom. This one totally gets overshadowed, but it is a great glider too. Maybe just not quite so optimal coverage, I think, from that perspective, but it does have 43 courses, which is insane. Then we've got the 8-bit Goomba, and really crazy to look at this and see this in number 3 position. I think a lot of people don't even have this on the radar because it's only got 26 courses, so for it to be playing with all these, you know, these gliders that literally have almost double that is pretty crazy. We'll take a look, because I think it's one that you could gamble on now and be pretty sure that Nintendo will continue to favor it, continue to buff it, and it could end up pretty strong. But as always, it is a gamble, so that, you know, that is at your own risk. But 6 places jumping this tour is pretty fantastic. Let's go take a quick look at 8-bit Goomba and answer the question, you know, should Matt spend all his tickets this tour? We'll find out in a minute. Certainly the 8-bits are not as strong as they were when, you know, the 8-bit 1-up came out and it's the only 8-bit. It was very strong. I think it's a little bit different now, so we do have to be a little bit more judicious and a little bit smart with our tickets. So number 3 in the ticket time rankings, 24 retro courses is very good. It's got 3 nitro courses, and that is with 111 retro courses to see, right? This is, guys, look over here. This is all the courses it can see, as well as the nitro courses. That's an insane amount. Now, that's every variant of all of these courses. That's a lot to see. And being that retro nostalgia type appeal with the 8-bit and being a Goomba, man, they could buff it pretty hard, and I am predicting, I think that this will go into a buffing streak. It's kind of lulled at the moment, it's kind of, you know, under the radar, but it will go hard, and it could go hard for a long time. For the next 6 months, this just could get you buffed almost every tour, so you never know. We'll find out. So it just depends how conservative you want to be. Looking at its coverage that it got this tour, it got Mushroom Bridge T, which is ranked week 2, and Shroom Ridge R. So 2 brand new courses. That's exactly what you want. That's very efficient. If it continues to go that way, it will be very strong in the future. And its overlaps include 6 with the Calico Toe Beam balloons. Then we've got 5 with Fire Manta glider, Chocolate Pretzel, Pink Magnifying Glass, 8-bit block glider, and then 4 with a whole bunch there. I'll just shout out a couple. So 4 with Golden Wings, 4 with Piranha Plant Balloons, 4 with 8-bit Fireflower, 8-bit Super Gliders in there, Wonderful Diamond. Yeah, 3 with Candlelight Flight. You know, I think the thing is, this has started out with quite a lot of overlap, and that's really what's, you know, kind of, I guess, stopped people really investing as much as they might have wanted to. But yeah, there it is. That's how it kind of is right now. Alright guys, and let's take a look and round out our top 10. We've got the Fire Manta glider dropping down 1 place to number 2. So it's interesting to see this peaking up to quite a high peak at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Fire Manta. It's one we haven't looked at in quite a while, and Fire Manta is one that I didn't invest into, so, you know, I think it's kind of been under the radar for a lot of people. This tour, it got Piranha Plant Cove 3, which is a ranked week 1 course. Of course, overlapping with the Super Glider there kind of makes it less interesting, but it is doing really well with 28 retros and 15 nitro courses. And looking at its overlaps there, it's got 8 with the Secret Scroll, as well as 6 with the Gold Hard Hat Balloon, the Silver Luigi's Moustache, Tropical Balloons, and then 5 with the 8-bit Block Glider, Chocolate Pretzel, Mario's Hat Balloon, Pink Magnifying Glass, 8-bit Goomba, Wonderful Garnet, and the Flying Flappers. There's a bunch that you could mention as well, you know, Black Star Shoot in there, but I mean, the further we go down the list, the less the overlap matters in terms of that. So Fire Manta, pretty strong. I think if you're invested in, you know, Gold Hard Hat, Silver Luigi, Tropical Balloons, you're probably going to be less interested with this one, but it does have its niche, so it's one definitely that's good to have at a relatively high level. Alright, and our final glider in the game, as mentioned in the last wee while, is the Mario's Hat Balloon. Again, this Mario's Hat Balloon, Cappy, you know, doing very well and actually beating out the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom and the Piranha Plant Balloons at the moment. So let's take a look and honor our, you know, take a moment and let's honor Cappy. Let's take a look at Mario's Hat Balloon and see how is this thing doing so well. Like what's the go with this one? Let me know if you're invested. It's definitely not one I invested in. You can see why. 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, 8 overlaps there, but yeah, it's got 28 retro courses, it's got 16 nitros, it's got Mushroom Bridge R. It's pretty strong. It's really strong. If you're not invested in the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, it could have been one to invest into instead. Now it only has 4 retro courses to see: Frappe Snowland, Koopa Trooper Beach 2. So really not that interesting in terms of buff potential. It's kind of seen its best days now, and it probably will start to drop off very, very soon. I would say in the next couple of tours, it's going to start dropping right off. And overlaps, it's got 7 with the Origami Glider as well, Sakura Origami Glider, then 6 with Black Star Shoot, Tulip Corsage, Mint and Berry Balloons, Mario's Moustache, and then 5 with a bunch including Boomas, Piranha Plant Balloons, Wonderful Wings. Yeah, so a bit of overlap there, not too concerning, but yeah, Mario's Hat Balloon, strongest glider in the game right now. Alright guys, now we have a bit of a special treat with a special look at one of our Discord and community members' rankings from Ticket Time. And I hope this can be hopefully an example of analyzing your own rankings, as we did in the Ticket Time video that's just dropped on the channel as well. Let's take a look at another example of a player. So this particular example is SticRNG. Massive shout out to Stick, who's an incredible player, always maximizing scores, spending 8 hours on ranked and doing amazing. So it's no surprises that we're here with him winning the prize for me to take a look at his rankings. And yeah, Stick, I really hope this can help you out. Now, just a caveat that I think this is might be slightly older link to his rankings, so it might not be completely up to date with some of the numbers, so just take that with a grain of salt, but I think the principles should remain the same, and perhaps a lot of the changes and things like that might not be too different. So let's go take a look at his rankings, see how they show up, and yeah, see what investment strategy might make sense for him. One thing I will say is I did ask Stick, what is he like as a player? How does he approach the game? What are the skills that he likes? And basically he's relatively similar to me, quite straightforward. Coin box, boomerang, a little bit of Giant Banana and Lucky 7, but primarily Coin box, boomerang, wants to maximize scores, doesn't need too much help with Action Can't Handicap, and likes big carts, of course, to collect more coins. So totally makes sense. So with that in mind, let's go take a look and analyze the rankings. So firstly, looking at the top 10 drivers here, the first thing that stands out is Gold Mii being at level 7 and triple capped, with the #1 recommendation from Ticket Time to invest into Gold Mii to level 8 and triple cap. Now, of course, depending how many cap tickets you have, it might make sense then to also look at level 8 and quad cap. I think that's not, Item Inspector is not going to work just due to this being an older link. That's cool, we'll carry on. But yeah, certainly Stick, if you use your current rankings with the current tour, you'll be able to use the Item Inspector as well. So I would recommend, yeah, definitely Gold Mii Racing Suit being a #1 priority right now. You can see question mark block Mii Racing Suit is already at 8.3, so that could be an alternative option to go 8.4. But from my perspective, I think, yeah, Gold Mii is so much more powerful. You can see that this investment would improve 41 courses. And it would substantially improve 14 courses, whereas question mark block Mii not too far behind, 36 courses and 9 courses. So that would be my #1 recommendation, to look at taking one of those to absolutely 8 quad cap. But I think the thing for Stick is he's such a great player that he might not need that from a scoring potential perspective. So conservative approach might still make sense in terms of that as well. So it has to be in ranked, but I think the cool thing with this tour is both of these drivers are in ranked, and it's a Mii. So right, it's, you know, quad capping totally makes sense. You're investing long term into your account, especially around ACR as well. The next opportunity is PD Piranha Mii Racing Suit, going from level 7 double cap to 8 triple cap. Yeah, totally a good option. I think it depends on relationship with Boomerang and whether, again, it's needed. PD Piranha Mii Racing Suit's been around a while. It is very, very strong. But yeah, again, this is going to substantially improve 17 courses, which is the best number on the whole list. So that's very, very much worthwhile investment. Looking further down, you've got Toad Astronaut in here, going from 6.3 to 7.3. Yeah, Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer would actually, you know, right now it's not even obtained, could level up 9 improved courses with 8 substantially improved, even at level 6 and double cap. I think it might be a little bit late on this one though, so unless really needed for rank, there's probably some other options which make more sense. For example, Question Mark Block or PD Piranha Mii, or even Larry Mii, which might be further down the list, which we're not going to see here. Charging Shark Gold is another one I would seriously consider for this account, and that's because 34 courses of improvement and 11 substantially improved courses. That is really substantial. They're taking it from 7.3 to 8.3. Also could be one, like I've done, to take it to 8.4. I had, you know, Miauza at 8.3, I had Santa Bowser at 8.3, so on and so forth. But Charging Shark Gold, first non coin box Mii Racing Suit that I took to quad cap. So it made sense because it's just so strong with that coverage, and these numbers are just even getting better. Question Mark Block, as we already mentioned. Looking further down the list, there's some that might be more interesting, but I think that's more than enough to go on for now. So let's move on to the Karts, and you can see where this is going. Number one recommendation, same as the gold Mii, here is the recommendation of Blazing Eagle to either level 8 and triple cap, as Ticket Time recommends here, or 8 and quad cap. Either way, you're going to improve 41 courses and 16 substantially. That is a ridiculously high number, how much you're going to substantially improve courses. And the cool thing with this is it's also factoring in that retro courses are going to substantially improve your scoring, whereas a nitro not so much. So this is really good to see. You know, you can see this represented not just in the raw score, but the weighting of the score. This is very strong. Boosted score also represents the buff potential, so it's still very, very strong there. Blazing Eagle, definitely, obviously it's in ranked, so I would seriously consider that as a candidate to go to level 8 this tour at the very least. Cool. And then we've got Crawley Kart in there as well. Interesting there. You've got that a sub level on that, so it could be a good one. I would recommend seriously considering that for Twilight House next time it shows up in ranked. But outside of that, maybe not. We've got Wild Black again, sub level, so maybe not that interesting unless it showed up in ranked, but I don't think it will. Then we've got Moo Moo Off-Roader, 6.3 recommending to 7.3. I think that really you would need to wait for this to come back into ranked to make that make sense. However, it would represent 27 improved courses with 6 substantially improved. So that's okay numbers. Yeah, pretty strong in terms of the coverage that one's giving you. We've got Almond Rider in there. We've got Cupid's Arrow. Swift Talon in there is an interesting one because it's still at level 1. And it's even recommending it here. This is an interesting one. Only recommending it to level 4 with the single cap. That would already improve 10 courses and 3 substantially. So I think it's not a top priority for your tickets. I think Blazing Eagle is about long-term investment, long-term value. Swift Talon in this case, as a contrast, is more about if you need it in ranked, and you have the peace of mind that it's going to still give you 10 improved courses, even at level 4, then might make sense. How I do this on my free-to-play account is typically leveling carts up to level 4 and double cap. It sits nicer, a little bit nicer for me personally, and that's a great way to approach that for an item which is kind of, you recognize that it's going to give you some courses, but it's not great long-term value. Cool, we've got Vampire Flyer, B-Dasher Mark II, and Pig Speeder, but I think that's probably more than enough, and you know, it might seem a little vanilla, guys, but you know, Blazing Eagle is definitely the recommendation there. Looking at the gliders, yellow hard hat balloon, it's hilarious. You know, just level up Gold Mii, you know, Blazing Eagle, yellow hard hat balloon. Guys, there's a reason these items show up at the top of the ticket time rankings. As a general ranking rule, it means that they're great for most people. You do have to check your inventory, but for Stick here, he's got plenty of items at, you know, level 4, level 6, level 5, level 6, level 7. Not so many at level 8, and what that means is he can pick the optimal item to take it to that higher level and replace a lot of overlaps, as well as get the value out of something with tons of coverage. So the yellow hard hat balloon is the recommendation here. Of course, it's in ranked this week as well. It's currently at level 7 and triple capped, with the recommendation to go to level 8 and triple capped. As I did last tour, I took it to 8 and quad cap, so I'm in a similar position to Stick, and that was my decision because I saw the value there. 31 improved courses, 13 substantially improved courses. It's really worth taking a look at. Tropical balloons there, Wonderful Wings, Record Setter, Candlelight Flight, Strawberry Donut, Golden Wings. We've got Wonderful Garnet. These are some interesting ones down the bottom of the list because they're at level 1 or unobtained. So I'll just quickly touch on those with, yeah, some of these in the middle. It's kind of like, you know, they're not in ranked, so maybe not quite so interesting. We've got Wonderful Garnet, Piranha Plant Cove 3 there, yeah, going from level 1, recommended to go to level 6 and double capped. It would give 9 courses. Or for Piranha Plant Cove 3, Silver Luigi's Moustache, from level 1 to level 6 and double cap, 11 improved courses with 10 substantially improved. And then there's also Fuzzy Kite, which gives Piranha Plant Cove 3 and Cooper Cape RT. Nice to see there again, level 6 and double cap. Probably wouldn't recommend doing Fuzzy Kite and Yellow Hard Hat Balloon from that perspective, but certainly one of these other two could be quite interesting. Wonderful Garnet, probably, like, even though the numbers are not as high as Silver Luigi's Moustache, you got to remember that this one has a lot more buff potential to it than the Silver Luigi's Moustache does, so could be a lot better long term if it gets some way better buffs. But yeah, I think to keep it simple, I would focus for Stick. The strategy here will be to further invest into existing items, picking the best, absolute best item and taking them to an even higher level to take advantage of the coverage, but then also replace some items where they overlap at a lower level. So that's Stick. I hope you find that recommendation useful, and you can go from there for your own coverage. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you got something out of it. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe. We're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate your support and all the support that happened on the Ticket Time video. So stay tuned to the channel for much more. We've got more videos coming. I'd love your feedback on this episode, and hopefully in the next tour we will do this as a live stream and we'll be able to look at even more inventories. So take care and we will see you next time. Bye bye.